Okay, guys, and welcome back to another week of Casual Chaos. This week I have someone on my podcast who I love very much. Dad, welcome to Casual Chaos.
Thank you, Gia. You're so pretty, and I'm so happy to be your dad. You're like the greatest daughter ever.
Oh, thanks, Dad. I love you. You've had such a fun month with so many visitors coming to see you. You had your aunt, your cousin, Melania and Gabriella. Your sister came with all of her kids and her husband. You're just such a busy guy.
I know, very tiring. Last night I was so tired, actually. Yeah, they went to Bahamas again. I had to tap out. You just got to tap out sometimes.
I mean, you have been going for a while. Well, Ziana got there. Adriana was with you for 2 weeks. So
Adriana just left yesterday. So sad.
a lot of people always wonder if I'm the closest to you out of all of us, but I feel like we're all close to you in our own ways. I think just because I'm older, obviously we have a different bond, but I feel like you're close to all of us.
Yeah, I agree. It took me a little bit like with Adriana, you know what I mean? Like when I got out and everything, because I was away for a little bit, so she was like a little, in the beginning, but now she's like totally fine. She's like so cute. But
Well, yeah, because she was so young
he was like
when
six
you
when I went away.
Yeah, she was 6. So
Yeah.
then, when as she was growing up, she didn't have you, there and present as she was, becoming into beautiful young lady that she is now. But she was, you could tell she always missed that. She always missed having that father figure.
Yeah.
And it obviously did take her a little time because it was almost like she had to get to know you all over again. So, but now, she loves it. She was basically there with you alone for this whole time until the family showed up, but she wanted that this time. She really wanted that alone time with you and to just be with you. So you could tell she always wants that and definitely misses those moments.
Yeah, she's so cute.
So let's start from the beginning. Tell me about how you and mom decided and agreed on doing the Real Housewives of New Jersey. What was that conversation like?
I was during that time, the Real Housewives. I probably was renovating about 150 units at the time when I was renovating our home as well. All right, and it was only supposed to be a simple, quick renovation because our home was actually pretty cool when we first bought it. You know what I mean? It was contemporary, and actually we should have left it like that. During that design and everything that we was going on, she came up with this housewife stuff, right? So this was many years ago. I was like, "What's the housewives?" I'm like, "What is this?" You know what I mean? She's like, because at the time there was only, I think, one housewife, which I think was uh, Orange County or something like that, or whatever. There was only one housewife, so it wasn't very popular. You know what I mean? It wasn't like everybody knew about it or anything. It
Oh,
was like,
maybe Orange County in New York, but
I don't know. I mean, I don't remember exactly who was whatever, but it wasn't like a big thing. You know what I mean? So I didn't know about it. So basically, she was like, and they came in, well, like, just do this interview with them and whatever. I'm like, for what? They're like, just do the interview. Let's just do the interview. All right, whatever. So I had to go to the house, you know what I mean, while she was there. And I think that, I don't know if they showed it or not, but they, when she was at the top of the staircase, but that was during when the house was under construction. So I don't know if they showed that part or not. But this is when they were interviewing us. And I said, I forgot what they asked me. They asked me something. And I said, well, listen, if we make it through this construction phase here, and me and my ex are still together or she's still alive, that's going to be a big plus. You know what I mean? So, so they were like, whatever. And then, after that interview, they would just wouldn't leave us alone. It was like, they just would not leave us alone. Every day for about a year, they were calling, like calling every day for a year. By that time, the house was, pretty much complete. You know what I mean? And that's when we started moving in. I think they started filming. Or I don't think they filmed this when we were staying at the other house that I had over there in Lincoln Park, did they? No, right?
no, thank God.
Yeah. So anyway, during that time, I think Adriana was
We
born
were
there, right?
literally living in the woods. Like
Well,
we were living in the woods. Our playroom, like my dad couldn't come up there because his head would hit the ceiling. It was like definitely made us closer as a family, I would say, but we were on top of each other living in the woods. So then the show started. So did you and mom talk to us about it, or like did you guys ever have a conversation with us about like being on TV? I don't really remember.
no, I don't think so. I mean, your mother kind of, once we signed, I mean, it was kind of like, a big blur after that. You know what I mean? It was like, you know, I think the first year we had that big party in my great room. All right. I think that show cost me 150,000 the first year. All right. And
Oh, like Housewives, you're displaying every housewife throughout all franchises. They're displaying their lives and the parties and the glam and all of that. And a lot of housewives will tell you, not just us, but you don't get obviously paid that much money filming a first season show. Your pay obviously grows as the seasons go on.
we got paid nothing the first season. I'll even say it was like 25,000. I mean, it was ridiculous, but whatever.
But so when you're throwing parties and stuff like that, especially for the first season, you're putting in more money than you're actually getting out of it. So then obviously, you grow and make your way and make your name. But for the first season, when you're obviously trying to, but this wasn't anything out of the norm. My mom and dad, especially my dad, he loves company. They loved throwing parties, having people over. So it wasn't like this was anything crazy, but it was just what we would do.
Every weekend. I mean, I didn't care. I mean, every weekend I had people at my house. I would have,
My dad would
obviously,
invite the neighbor from down the street over. My dad meets you in the grocery store. Oh, come over for dinner. We're having a big meal tonight.
no, I don't know about that, but I mean,
It's not
if
too
we
far
meet
fetched.
people, I mean, if we meet people and I like them,
Yeah, you love the company. But our lives were on full display, the good and the bad. So, mom was literally filmed leaving our home from jail. The show was on pause until she came home. Do you regret anything shown on TV?
yeah, a few episodes, like the one up where we were at the vineyard or something. I called your mother something, and it wasn't very nice. I mean, but that was just out of pure, drinking wine, and enough was enough. You know what I mean? We were stuck there, and for like a week, I think, in his house, just drinking wine every day. I couldn't even look at wine anymore. And I think it was Caroline's birthday, and we were just getting ready to leave too. I think the next day or 2 days from before leaving, and it was just like like sometimes it just gets so chaotic with everybody around because all they want you to do is just start drama and do this and do that. They don't want you to just hang out and have a normal time. You know what I mean? They want you to just they just want you to start with something or ask them about this or ask them something personal about this that'll piss them off and then ask them this. And went around with all the people, you know what I mean? Like that's their job. I mean, their job is to go around and stir up, whatever they could stir up and cause, nobody wants a boring show, obviously. So, and that's what they do. So, I mean, they would stir this up, stir that up. And so it was never like really relaxing. After like, especially being together for like, I think we were together that time for a little while. We were on campers. We ended up at the vineyard. We were camping together. And then we ended up, in the house, I think for like 4 or 5 days. We ended up in the campers for like 4 or 5. It was a lot of time to be together with a bunch of people. You know what I mean? And always starting over something. You know what I mean? It was always like some kind of conflict we had to have. I think we even surfed that time. We went surfing. It was all during that same time. You know what I mean? And we did like a lot. That was the time with the Manzos. That was in the beginning. That was in like the beginning season when we did all that. That's probably one of the episodes that I regret. And what else? What other one? I mean, no, not really. I mean, the rest was whatever. I mean, but that was really the only part that really wasn't me because I don't even use that word. I hate that word, and why it came out of my mouth, I have no idea. And I regret the time actually all this stuff happening on television, obviously with this, with the fraud and all this other stuff that I don't think they would have even bothered me if I wasn't on television. But listen, at the time, my attorney called me up and said that I was a target. All right, which Miles Feinstein is now dead, and I knew him, and he called me and he said, "Listen, Joe," he goes, "I just want you to know that in about whatever, you're in under investigation and you're a target." You know what I mean? I'm like, "For what?" And they're like, "I'm just telling you, this is just what I heard." I didn't believe him. All right, but it was true. So sure enough, in 2012, I think it was, or whatever, yeah, 2012, I think we got indicted, and that's when all the crap began.
So you've had some iconic moments on The Real Housewives, and that's why fans literally love you until this day. They just love how authentic you always were on camera, and you can see that from a mile away. There was even that one scene when mommy was away and you were trying to look for us on the little quad, and you were trying to find us, chasing us around, and because you didn't have a license, so you were looking for us on the little quad. And then the other time that is still one of your iconic moments, but again, you definitely had too much wine, is when you did the front flip and chipped your tooth.
Oh my God, everybody loves that. I'm like, actually,
No, that
I
was
don't even
actually
remember
embarrassing.
when you started crying.
That was that because, well, you literally hit your face so hard.
I didn't hit it hard. I hit a tooth that was already chipped, and when I hit, it actually just fell out. The filler actually just fell out because, and that filler was in, believe it or not, for a very long time since I was like 16 years old. You know what I mean? So
But
that filler,
you had too much wine that night. That was
yes,
too
I
much
had.
wine.
We had a lot of wine. Yeah, we
But
definitely had a
then,
lot of
do you
wine.
remember that you chasing us on the little quad?
Uh, no.
I don't really remember it either, but it's on when we filmed while mommy was away. And then the other time when you dropped your phone in the pond.
Yeah, that I remember.
That was so funny.
Yeah, Melania, I think, because she was throwing some stuff in the water, and Gabriella was like, she's throwing dog food or something in the water. I don't know what she was doing, but yeah,
She was throwing dog food in the water, and then she went on the little quad and goes, "See ya, suckers," or "Goodbye,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
suckers."
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then you turned around and your phone went straight into the water. That was
My
so
yeah,
funny.
my phone went right into the water.
What is one memory that you are so happy was captured by the cameras?
I mean, we did that one scene when our whole family took a picture together. Remember when everybody was alive? I mean, that was nice.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
So that's a nice scene, and I think that we were already under, was already starting at the time when the lawsuits and all that crap were already in play.
Yeah, no, they were. Nona
So
Franco was there. Everyone
yeah,
was there.
yeah. So that was a nice, and it's nice because now you get to see him on camera every once in a while. I mean, so that's the only nice part about it. I mean, you get to see, your family that's, obviously not here with us right now, but I mean, get to see Nona a lot. You get to see Nona, my father. So I mean, that's the nice parts. And all you guys, growing up like little, you were like so cute, growing up and like all these little times that you would just not even remember, you know what I mean? But every time you see these like times on camera.
Flash forward to 2014. You were sentenced to 41 months in prison and were immediately deported to Italy once you were released. From your point of view, who took you being deported the hardest in the family?
Uh, I mean, look, I think everybody, took it hard. Everybody did. Probably like between the kids, I would say, I'm sure, like, listen, all of yous, including myself. I mean, it wasn't easy for anybody, but I mean, I would say maybe Melania, maybe, I don't know, probably Melania,
Yeah.
but I think everybody, you know what I mean? Everybody,
I
my
mean,
mother, my
I
sister, my
definitely,
brother, I mean, everybody.
yeah. I mean, I think we all definitely went through our hardships. Like, I definitely went through it a little bit. I think it was like, the point that we were fighting so hard to get you to come home, and it was just, you stayed in ICE 8 months after your sentence?
I was in 8 months, and I would have fought it all the way through if they would have just gave me bond, which I don't understand why they wouldn't give me a bond to get out while I was fighting my case. I would have took it to the whatever circuit at that point. You know what I mean? There's no reason why I was a flight risk. There's no reason why they had to keep me in prison while I was fighting my case. That was the biggest BS ever. All right. And I don't know who or why, but somebody had it out for me that didn't want me obviously in the country. All right, because I've seen a lot worse people come out than me. You know what I mean? To me,
So
I was like nothing.
basically, because my father's case was over $10,000, but also in retrospect, nobody goes to jail for $10,000. So by that point, when my
No,
dad
no, 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 no.
sentenced,
That's what they claimed.
yeah,
Okay.
but they
That's what they
claimed
claimed. They
that, and
claimed,
that's what made you a flight risk. That's what made it a
well,
violent
no, no, no.
crime,
It made it an
aggravated felon.
aggravated felon, which doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? But what happened was when we were going before I got sentenced. All right. And once you plea, it's very hard to turn it over. You know what I mean? Because my immigration attorney was fighting so hard to get it because he understood and he knew I was right. But he couldn't get the immigration guy to overturn it because the first judge, whatever hell her name is, Judge
Salas.
Salas, yeah. Once you plead to something, it's very hard for a judge to overturn it, and they're not going to overturn it once it's done, it's done. You know what I mean? So once you plead to something, it's almost impossible. You could try for years and years and years. I've seen people fighting for 20 years while they were in prison, and they became so good at you know law that going to the law library every day, they were actually better than attorneys. But by also pleading to what I pled to, it was very hard to overturn it because they said that I owed two lines of credit, about 500 grand. Okay. So I went to the bank, got the discharges from the bank, proved to them that I didn't owe any money. Because I obviously, if I had, owed money, I'd be getting, statements to pay. You know what I mean? So I knew I didn't owe. So I went to the bank at the time, Markovia, and I said, listen, these are the account numbers. Can you please give me, if I owe the money, I'll pay you guys. What do I have to pay the government for? So yeah, no problem. She went upstairs later. It was very nice. Came down, said, "Yeah, you don't owe us any money. All right, these are the discharges," and that was it. So we brought it back, and we fought, but they didn't want to hear it. They basically said, "Listen, you got 48 hours to come up with you know, a decision, or we go to a trial." So
And at the end of the day, nobody wants to go to trial.
no, nobody wants to go to trial. So they basically gave us an ultimatum. So they said, "All right, listen, this is the deal. You go to prison, all right, for 42 months, whatever it was, 41 months. Your mother goes home, stays with the kids, and that's the deal. And you got to pay $1.5 million. We're like, $1.5 million for what? All right. So that was the deal. So we had to end up paying $1.5 million, which we paid, I believe, 500 at the time, and whatever the payments, and I believe everything is paid as well now. But it's just crazy. You know what I
And
mean? That we had it.
say thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. I was no burglar. I was no murderer. I was nothing. I worked real hard to provide for my family, and that's all I did. All right. And yes, they got me for a little fraud thing. They said that I made a fraud. Okay. Okay, fine. I did a fraud.
Where did things go wrong with the fraud?
Normally, people, when they get a fraud charge or they get a whatever, sometimes you'll get a fine. You know what I mean? Normally, back in the day, they would give you like a fine. They'll give you pretty much a slap on the wrist, a fine, and maybe house arrest sometimes, or whatever, you know what I mean? But nothing like serious. I mean, if anything, if you did a really big fraud, Okay, like they can't do like a Ponzi scheme like what's his name over there? You the guy who made off for one of those things. I mean, that's different. You know what I mean? Now you're robbing everybody. You're literally just robbing people. But when you're signing a piece of paper just to get, a loan approved, and that's what most people did, right? We just sign a piece of paper, like I'm sure I did plenty of times, you know what I mean? And just signed whatever I signed, you know what I mean? Half the times, I just read it over and the numbers, whatever, boom, 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 sign paper, and that's it. That's closing. All right. And that's just what you do. You know what I mean? So now I should have only gotten not even a year in prison. Mom should have got maybe probation. Okay. If that. Okay. If you wanted to go real hard on her. I got 36 months for that. Like literally guys that were in there 3, 4 times. Okay. For doing credit card scams. Okay. And I know him. This guy, Mike, that was in there. This guy was in there the third time. Credit card scams. The third time he got 22 months. Okay. And I'm talking about this guy was ripping people off big time. All right. And he was in there for 22 months. The third time he got caught. Okay. Another guy, he was in there. This guy was big time. All right. I mean, this guy was doing like, they couldn't find him for years, but he was doing it for years. This guy, he literally got him for millions. He put millions in India. He was smart. See, now, if I did that, I'd be happy. All right. I don't care. If I would have got him for 25 million, $28 million and they put me in jail for 3 years, who cares? You know what I mean? But there was another guy. He was so mad one day, right? This guy. And he's complaining, all right, that he is in jail for 2 years and he robbed the system for $36 million and he had the $36 million sitting somewhere. All right. And they never got it. All right. And he was saying, yeah, they got me for 2 years. I got to sit in here for 2 years. I'm like, what'd you do? He goes, I got them for like 36 million. I go, all right, did they get it back or do you have it somewhere? He goes, I have it somewhere. I wanted to punch him right in his nose. I'm like, what are you complaining about? You got $36 million sitting waiting for you when you get out. What are you worried about? You know what I mean? These are guys that are in there that scam the system, but they know how to scam them. A lot of them get away with it. A lot of them don't. Obviously, a lot of them that are like billionaires that were in there, like, that had jets. I've seen in there and just totally get crushed. I mean, they like literally. These guys didn't even have a dime left to their name. They just like take everything. I mean, they take everything, just like they did to me. They'll come over there, like me. They froze all my accounts. All right, for like almost 6 months, to where all the banks were taking back the properties, all those properties I worked hard for. That should have been yours right now. They came in and just basically froze everything. Because that's what they do. They don't care. They came to the house. They wanted to take our furniture, our artwork. They said that we had Picassos and all this stuff hanging out. I'm like, Picassos? What are you talking about? I was like asking your mother. I go, we got Picassos hanging on the wall, right? She's like, what Picassos? You know what I mean? So I'm like, well, if they're coming in here to take all our, everything, even our artwork. They're saying that we got Picassos hanging out over here, right? So I was like, whatever. They came in, we were able to stop it, so they didn't, take our furniture out and this, that, and the other thing. And I think it was Miles that I was actually able to stop it, or that I don't know which attorney. We had so many damn attorneys at the time, but anyway, it was definitely a rough time. And listen, we could go on and on with stories forever. You know what I mean? So yeah, we definitely went through some hard times, but look, we're gonna rise above all that. You know what I mean? And that'll all be behind us. Hopefully, and it is behind us. You know what I mean? But hopefully one day, you know what I mean. I just want to be able to be able to come back there, spend time, when it's your birthday, when it's whatever it might be. I mean, I'm sure one day you're going to get married. I'd like to be there for your wedding so we don't have to be like destination weddings and all this stuff like that. Not that it's a bad thing, but I mean, at the end of the day, not everybody could come to the destination wedding. I'm sure you want all your friends, everybody to be there. And, we'll figure it out. I mean, one step at a time.
Speaking of rising above it, Trump recently pardoned the Chrisleys. What did you think about that?
I mean, look, I'm very happy that they got pardoned. All right. I really am. I mean, I think that they got
Blessing for their family.
yes, I mean they got, 10 years for what they did. I mean, come on. Basically the same thing that they charged me and your mother with. You know what I mean? They but I think they went to trial because I mean I talked to Savannah for briefly, about the case and I believe that, from what I remember, they went to trial. All right. And that's why they got hit with such a lengthy sentence, which they probably would have got less time than me and your mother, maybe the same time, you know what I mean? So really the time that they served, they would have been getting out anyway, you know what I mean? Because, they were both, I believe, in a camp, you know what I mean? Which it doesn't matter. When you're away, you're away, you're still away, you know what I mean? You're not with your family, you know what I mean? So it doesn't matter where you're at. And so, I mean, they would have probably been getting out, even if they took a plea, they probably would have been getting out during the same time that they actually got out, which is a blessing for them because to spend 10 years in prison over what, whatever crime it was, you know what I mean, that they said that they did, you know what I mean? I don't know, you know what I mean? If it's, I don't know the case too well, you know what I mean? But it was just, they didn't murder nobody, you know what I mean? Murderers get 10 years, you know what I mean? They didn't do anything like that. I mean, they basically, whatever it was, you know, uh, white collar. All right. It was a white collar crime. There's no reason why they should have got 10 years. So, yeah, I'm glad that they got pardoned. I'm glad they are out and the family, they're together and, as it should be.
Have you reached out to Todd Chrisley since Trump pardoned him?
I didn't know. I don't really know the Chrisleys. I don't know Todd. I mean, I would like to talk to him. I mean, listen, right now they're still, getting their stuff together. You know what I mean? Doing everything they're doing. I'm sure they're happy to be together. I don't like to bother anybody, and I don't like to get into, you know, how they did it and what they did and whatever. I mean, listen, if something's gonna happen, it'll happen. You know what I mean? By the grace of God, it'll happen, and that's all you could, do is just, it's all up to God. At the end of the day, we're here every day only because of God. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here. You know what I mean? So we're here every day. You get up, you got to just thank God for being alive, and that's it.
Amen. I've been writing letters to Trump and posting a lot on social media asking for you to get pardoned. I know you've been doing the same. And a lot of people have, obviously had their comments on it. But at the end of the day, I think everyone needs to realize that every girl, every daughter, every son, any family member would want their father home. And that is all that we are asking for. But is pardoning something that you want? Do you want to come back to the US?
Of course, I want to come back to the U.S. I mean, I only grew up there. You know what I mean? I was a year old when I came to the U.S. And when I came to the U.S., I came in legally. All right. If I would have came in illegally, like over the wall, the Mexican border wall, I wouldn't have got deported. Look how crazy this immigration law is over there. It doesn't make any sense. It totally needs to be revamped, redone, and done the right way because it doesn't make any sense the way it's actually the law. The immigration law is crazy. I mean, it's totally crazy. So, because I came in legally, that's why I got deported. Now, people that came in illegally got out on bail and were able to fight their case outside, which was crazy. Crazy. I couldn't understand it. And meanwhile, I spent thousands and tens of thousands of dollars on lawyers. My immigration attorney said that all you got, if you can get the judge to amend one word, you won't get deported in the sentence. All she had to do was just amend one word. Cost $30,000, months. That was another thing. Took months to do. All right, nothing. She wouldn't amend that one word. So I was like, wow. That was like a big, big blow right there. So they wouldn't let me out, and that place in there just broke me. I couldn't take being in there. I mean, I would rather have gone to heaven and stayed in there. You know what I mean? That's how bad it was in there. I mean, I've seen that's different stories, but I mean, it was terrible in there. So to get out of there was just a relief. Yeah, it hurt once I was out, and then I hit Italy, and it actually hit home. You know what I mean? That I wasn't actually home. You know what I mean? Now I'm in Italy, where a place that I would just go and visit, not really my home. You know what I mean? So that's when it hit, and that's a whole different. That was a whole different, lifestyle you had to get used to over there. But listen, if you can adapt in prison, you can adapt anywhere. All right. So I adapted. I did what I had to do, and now I'm here in the Bahamas, closer to you guys, which is better. You know what I mean? Not the same, but better. You know what I mean? At least you could come here and visit. It's not too far. It's only a couple hours away, which is a lot better than having to deal with 12 hours of traveling. Going to Italy with between cars and this and that. It was a lot. So and this is where we stand. So, I mean, at the end of the day, we fought. We definitely fought. It's not like we didn't fight. We fought.
You fought to make your way back here. It was appeal after appeal, deny after deny. My dad came to the point of skin and bones. He was unrecognizable for a little bit.
I was literally 160 pounds. Like, not good.
It was definitely a rough time, and I think it was discouraging because we really did fight hard. And I think we were obviously his kids. We were not where he was. So as much as we were pushing him to stay and pushing him to fight, once we actually went to go visit him and I saw how he was just depleting. So once the appeals and just kept getting denied, and every time we tried to do something, everything we did just kept getting denied. He did tell us, like, I can't do this anymore. So once we heard that, obviously we want our dad here and not anywhere else. So we want him physically with us. So then that was when he called it quits, and they literally had him on a plane the next day. It was the quickest
It
thing.
wasn't quit, but I didn't want to quit, but
No, but I'm saying that, like, they're so quick to get you out of here, but if you want to stay and keep fighting, they will let you rot in there. Besides us, what have you missed the most from your old life since being deported?
well, I mean, I miss doing what I was doing there. I mean, I miss real estate. I miss, buying buildings and, renovating them and doing all that. I mean, that was my life. That's what I did. Even though nobody really knew what I did there. Yeah, I never really bragged about it or said anything about it. You know what I mean? It's like as soon as I was on the show, all right, and all these tenants that were in my buildings, all of a sudden started getting hurt and filing lawsuits and everything else. It was like the craziest thing in the world. You know what I mean? So anyway, yeah, I miss the real estate. I miss building. I miss renting apartments. I miss that whole life. You know what I mean? Having everything I had there, and I was king there. You know what I mean? At the time, I had almost 400 apartments. Right now, I probably have 2,500 apartments. All the years I got those 400 apartments. I did that in like when I started getting into real estate, I mean, all the big buildings, I actually did it in like 4 or 5 years. But I mean, throughout my time, I had like over, 40, 50 homes all over the place, that's how I made my money.
That's definitely something that I would love to learn if you ever got brought back.
Well, listen, I'm going to teach you how to do it regardless. All right. So it's very simple. All right. It's not a hard thing to do. I will walk you step by step through the whole thing. That's easy. So, I mean, whenever you're ready, and you want something, but wait till the prices go down. I mean, I think the prices are going to go down, interest rates are going to go down, and once that happens, then you go looking for something and you buy it. You put very little money down as a first time buyer. I'm sure they'll, you don't have to put that much money down, and get something, with a few families, two, three families, whatever it is that you can find. You know what I mean? Even a duplex, whatever. You have something, paying your mortgage, paying your bills from the one side, you live on the other side, and then you just keep it. You know what I mean? You let it build equity, and then you just, when you're ready to buy another home, you pull some money out of there, a little money out of your pocket, and you buy another home, your regular home.
Are you dating anyone right now?
Yeah,
We like her a lot.
I know.
I'm wearing her the necklace she got me, actually.
Did you? What's that?
It's pretty.
Oh, look how cute.
Yeah.
She is sweet, though, right?
She's so sweet.
Yeah.
We love her. She's very nice.
Yeah.
So this is obviously a joke question. Knock on wood, if Mom and Louie ever broke up, would you and Mom ever consider getting back together?
Listen, I'll always be your mom's friend, no matter what. You know what I mean? So it doesn't matter. I mean, I'll always be the same with her, no matter what. But I don't know. I mean, listen, you can never say never. I mean, but maybe if we're still alive when we're 90, I don't know, we'll see.
Oh, if you guys make it to 90, God, let's hope.
Yeah, let's hope. You know what I mean? But listen, you don't know. I mean, in life, you never know. But right now, I'm happy.
Margie's amazing, and obviously you guys are both happy, and that's all that matters. That was really, what we could only hope for as your kids, is for you both to just find happiness in all of this, because there were definitely a lot of dark times, and all we want is for the both of you to be happy and enjoy your life. And you know, that's what it's all about. So,
Yeah, and I agree. And for my kid to be happy, that's the most important thing.
and you and Louis get along, which is great. So, you respect him. We live under his roof. So,
He's a good guy. I mean, he gets. I don't know why they, whatever. But I mean, I guess they don't know him like I know him. You know what I mean? I guess they just know him from being on TV or whatever. But I mean, I think that if they actually met Louis, then they'll see a different, Louis, than what they portray him to be on television. You know what I mean? Or, I mean, listen, they could cut and edit and do anything they want and make you look however the way they want on TV. So there's a lot of things you could do. Same thing you could do on your telephone when you do your TikToks and all this other stuff you could do when when they're editing and doing films. So you could change everything. You could put words in people's mouths. It's crazy what they could do. They could do it even through making shows and doing whatever. A lot of things I don't believe even Kate, like even during that time up there when I said that word that I didn't want to say. Now I might have said it, but I mean there was other things in there they kind of twisted around. I mean, it wasn't exactly, look, at the time we were drinking a lot of wine as well, but that's no excuse. But I think that they kind of did something to make it look like I was really like, and I was really talking to my friend Albie, but I mean, they made it sound like I was talking to another girl.
yeah, no, they definitely know how to twist things up, but he is a great stepdad and you guys have a great relationship, great respect level for each other, which is really nice because that's all you want also as
As long as he treats you guys right, treat your mom right, that's all that matters.
yeah, because
He's happy.
obviously like from our perspective, we just want all our families to get along and have a beautiful blended family and I think we do that. And I mean, how would you describe you and mom's relationship after you were deported?
After I was deported,
Yeah.
I mean, it was like kind of like whatever, I mean, it was, draining. You know what I mean? All those years being apart and doing this and doing that. I mean, but look, she always did the right thing. I can't say nothing bad about your mom. Your mom was always good. But I mean, I guess it was just time to just move on and just do whatever. I mean, even if we would have tried, I mean, I don't know how that would have worked out. You know what I mean? How would that have worked out? You know what I mean? Me
No,
living in
no. I
Italy.
think I think after you got deported, you guys knew that like it was time to call it quits. But I think what was, admiring when you guys did get divorced was that you guys always maintained your relationship because I mean before you guys even had a romantic relationship or got married, you guys were best friends growing up. You were always best friends.
I'm not saying
You
we'll always remain friends. You know what I mean? It's just look, we got four beautiful daughters. So what else do we want in life? Right. Four beautiful daughters, and thank God these guys are all good and healthy and smart, and that's what matters in life.
So what else have you been up to in the Bahamas? Any more fights in the future?
I haven't been really
Have been
you know,
training.
yeah, I haven't really been training for any fight, but I mean it wasn't easy. I thought it would be even though I could fight, but I mean that boxing is like a whole different level. You know what I mean? Like if I'm able to use my feet and like takedowns and stuff like that, I mean that's what I know how to do. I know how to take people down, break people's legs. I know how to like choke people. I know how to like grab people and make them submit. With hand things. I know how to do all that stuff. You know what I mean? That's what I trained my whole life.
So you would
Boxing, yeah.
you would kill it in kickboxing. Boxing's a little different.
Mean, boxing I like, you know what I mean? It wasn't like, but listen, I think I did pretty good. I mean, the kid was, the guy that I fought was, he wasn't, I found out that he's also a black belt as well. You know what I mean? So he's not a slouch, that guy.
No, definitely not.
And I mean, he was in good shape. He was definitely not a slouch. You know what I mean? I took him a little light. You know what I mean? I mean, I didn't even train that much, to be honest with you. I really didn't train that much. I wasn't running. I wasn't doing nothing like that. I really wasn't, I took him kind of light. And my goal was really just to go in and, but he was obviously a trained fighter as well. So, I mean, it
Yeah,
was,
he was in good shape.
Yeah, it was a lot harder than I thought. You know what I mean? And but whatever, I did it. You know what I mean? And I definitely hit him a lot more times than he hit me.
Yeah, at least you won. So what else have you been up to in the Bahamas?
So what I'm doing now is basically this. See, every time I go on TikTok, when I'm cooking, I'm doing something. You know what I mean? I do a TikTok once in a while. And people always like, oh, we want to come cook, we want to come do this, we want to come do that with you. So I'm like, oh. So anyway, we came up with an idea. Actually, we were just sitting around, all right, and my neighbor actually came up with the idea. And he goes, well, why don't you do some kind of like raffle thing where you could get the people, you know what I mean, to just raffle like a weekend with Joe or something like that. So that's how I came up with this weekend with Joe thing, right? So I talked to a few people and they convinced me to do it, which now, it's going good. I mean, we're selling a lot of tickets, we're doing whatever, but you think 3,000 is like you sell right away, but it's really not that easy to sell 3,000 tickets. I mean, it's a lot, you know what I mean? So, I mean, it's going well. They're selling every day. And basically, the whole plan is look, not everybody can afford, you know what I mean, to come to the Bahamas. So with $15, yes, at 3,000 tickets or close to that, as long as it covers over 40 something thousand, because you can easily spend over 20 something $1,000 here in a weekend going, nuts. You know what I mean? Lunches here are crazy, dinners are crazy, drinks are $30 each. Okay, so you could definitely go through a lot of money here going, you know, balling out. You know what I mean? You know it. I mean, you've been here plenty of times, and it's very expensive here. It's not cheap by no means. And listen, if you're gonna do it, you're obviously gonna put the people in a nice place to stay. You're not gonna put them in a roach infested place. So I mean, you got to put them in a nice place. Minimal 500 a night or better. Otherwise, you're not gonna find something, in between there. So at a five, close to a 5 star dinners, you got to give them breakfast, you got to give them lunch. All right. That's easy one every day. In food, you're talking, a lot of money. Then you got to bring them boating. You're going to bring them on tours, all right? Those tour things, you know how everything is here. Everything is just expensive. Everywhere you go, you're shoveling money out. So, and I got to take 3 or 4 days out of my time. So I got to make money as well. You know what I mean? I can't just do it for nothing. You know what I mean? But the thing is, you got like let's just say somebody wins. Like I hear a lot of people, oh, I'll come by myself, or I'll bring this person. I'll bring that. Yeah, you're allowed to bring yourself. Whoever the winner is could bring another person with them, or a little infant, or a mother, whatever they want to do. 3, 4 people, I don't care. You know what I mean? But if you win, let's say one person wins and they got nobody to bring, which I don't know if they would have nobody to bring. I would have another draw and I would pick 2 people. You know what I mean? So that 2 people win. You can't just have one person win. You know what I mean? So you have 2 people win, and you just pick 2 people out of the draw. You know what I mean? So I mean, it's actually a pretty good business thing, and it could go on. And listen, for the amount of money that you're spending, it's only $15. But I think next time I'm gonna, once this is done and it hits the limit, and I pick a winner, I want to raise it up to 25, so you don't have as many people. You know what I mean? So you want to bring it down to like less people, which is actually a pretty good business thing. I mean, I do have the boats out here. I do have everything out here. So I mean, and I know everywhere to go on the island. You know what I mean? And here you have 700 islands. You don't have just one island. You know what I mean? So in one day, we could go here. The next day, if they want to go on a boat again, I'll take them to a boat to another place. You know what I mean? Whatever they want to do. Their weekend is what they want to do.
So we're doing weekends with Joe. Are you working on some construction out there?
I am working on construction. All right, I'm getting a lot of things in the works with construction, and just waiting on a couple of big things to come through, and hopefully they come through so I can get back into the. I would love to get back into the real estate game out here because that's what I love doing. And I mean, the real estate out here is very good, and I could definitely see myself getting back into it out here for sure. And even if I'm allowed back over there, I'll definitely be here working with real estate here. You know what I mean? So that's my thing is definitely getting back into the real estate thing. And it's not easy out here. It's very expensive. All right, it's not an easy way to live out here. But once you get into it, it takes a few years to get everything down and together. You know what I mean, and stuff like that. But once you're in there and you're doing it right, you can make money.
So the last thing that I'm going to ask you, the fans are dying to know if you really sell sex toys. Tell them that this was a past thing, that you don't
Yeah,
sell sex
that was
toys.
actually when I first got out of prison during COVID. Okay, so I made a deal with the guy to where he paid me 30% of what he grossed every month. And it was actually very profitable for me, though. You know what I mean? I got to say, when I got out, I was making five, six, $7,000 a month doing that. It was actually very good. So
But no more sex toys.
no more sex toys, yeah. But it was very profitable during COVID. I thought it was a great idea, you know?
I mean, yeah, people were bored, I guess.
So anyway, I'm so happy for you and your new show, Next Gen NYC. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but I heard that it's the highest rated show in Bravo. Is that true?
Yeah, we were the highest rated first, like highest rated premiere show ever on Bravo. So like our first episode was the like our premiere for Next Gen NYC. Our first episode that aired was the highest rated show on Bravo.
Wow. Okay. What about throughout the season? I mean, still, I heard that it had the highest ratings.
I mean, yeah, we still did great throughout the season. I mean,
Yeah, to be
having
honest with you,
that,
I didn't watch every episode, but I did watch a few. You know what I mean? Because I would sit there and lay in bed and watch it with because Margie would watch it all the time, and I would watch, and I mean, I thought it was pretty funny. I liked it. I mean, it was enjoyable to watch. You know what I mean? It was definitely a good show.
yeah, it wasn't bad. So now you're showing the older demographic they need to watch it because I feel like it's definitely a younger demographic show, but tying in like mom and other people, other like housewives and stuff, it makes it a little more intriguing for everybody, for all, all ages to watch it.
Yeah, I thought it was good. I thought it was very good, and I think that you'll do very well with that show.
Yeah, I'm excited. So we're waiting right now to hear if we're gonna get a season two.
I'm sure you're gonna get season two.
Yeah, so we did that. Now I'm just
Yeah.
working on, Casual Chaos. I just launched another podcast called Dirty Rush. And now we're just working,
Oh,
hustling
what?
and working.
What's that? What's a dirty rush?
It's a new podcast. So I have this podcast, Casual Chaos, and then I also have another podcast with two other women, Jen Fessler and Daisy Kent.
Okay.
And so it's the three of us because we all three of us were in sororities at college. So it's basically we're gonna have like a hotline where people call in, tell their sorority stories. Moms can relate to Jen Fessler because she's older than like me and Daisy. Daisy's
Who's
26.
Jen Fessler?
She was a friend of on Jersey Housewives.
It sounds familiar to me.
Yeah, she was on Jersey as a friend, not a
Okay.
housewife, but like she was on she was on the show.
Okay.
But she works with iHeartRadio, so it's me, Jen Fessler, and Daisy Kent. Daisy got a lot of recognition from being on The Bachelor, but it's us three, and we're basically going to talk to moms, girls that are going into college, thinking about rushing a sorority, girls that have rushed a sorority, kind of talk about the experience because it gets pretty crazy, especially down south, rushing a sorority. There's a lot that goes into it and a lot of things. So there's never been a sorority podcast before. So we're starting that too. So it's been really exciting, a lot of good things.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I'm really happy for you, and you're very good at doing it as well.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Dad.
very good. Very good, Gia. You learned good. And
Thanks.
who was the other housewife? I guess Siggy Flicker was on the Housewives when I was away, right? Did
Yeah.
she come on? How long was she on the Housewives for? I don't.
I think she was on for like maybe 2 years, but I
Well,
know you've been in contact with Siggy Flicker. She's been amazing, and
she's such a nice person. She really is,
yeah,
and I'm glad that
she's had our family in her prayers for sure.
yeah, she's such a nice person. She's got kids too, right?
Two kids, boy and a girl.
Yes. What? Oh, she has a boy and a girl. I think I saw something that was her daughter getting married or something.
No, I don't think so.
Oh no,
Maybe her son, maybe her son got engaged. I don't
somebody
know.
got engaged, something like that.
Maybe,
I
yeah.
saw. Yeah, but I'm glad that she's up there. And you know what? The other crazy thing is that we were on The Apprentice. So I was thinking that Trump would have maybe pardoned me when I first got in. You know what I mean? Because I was very friendly with him. We
Yeah.
were friends. I mean, we talked in his office. We had lunch together a few times, one time downstairs, you know what I mean? We spoke in his office for a while. His father owned properties where I used to have properties in East Orange, and we spoke for a while. And I knew exact building that he was talking about because my building was on Glenwood Avenue right here, and he had one, I believe, one of the office buildings that was, sitting right across the street. His father used to own back in the day, and so we got along good. I mean, and throughout the whole show, I mean, he was actually, I never wanted to bother him too much because he was always busy, you know what I mean, doing this and, and doing everything, because he's a busy guy. And he would always go out of his way, come and shake my hand, which I thought was very nice. So, I mean, I was like really hoping that he was going to do something while I was away. You know what I mean? I was like, you know what? I hope he gives me a pardon, but obviously I wasn't on his mind. But,
Yeah. I mean, even during that time when you were away, we were constantly writing letters, character letters, and I just recently did that again. So,
I mean,
hopefully, hopefully
then it
there's
was,
awareness and recognition that comes from all of this.
yeah, let's see what happens. I mean, look, all that we do is just pray to God and see what happens. You know what I mean? Hopefully it does. You gotta just stay positive. Always stay positive.
100%.
Good things will happen.
Yes. All right, Dad. Well, I love you so much and
Well,
thank you
I
for
love you
coming
too,
on.
baby, and thank you for having me on. All right.
I love you.
Keep
Everyone's
doing,
gonna
keep doing,
love this.
keep doing what you're doing. Love you.
I love you more. I'll call you when I'm in the car with Adriana.
All right. Bye bye.
Okay. I love you. Bye.